Around the world, billions of people live in fear and desperation. With impure water, inadequate food, rudimentary housing, and little or no access to health care. Behind every statistic is a person longing for help and hope. What can one person do?
My heart has been to provide help and hope to hurting people.
That's something that we've worked on for years, and it's a joy that we have.
Whether that's in our country or around the world.
With Helping Hands, our goal is to take help to people who are in need.
From Uganda to the Dominican Republic, Mexico, Kenya, Baja, Honduras, or inner cities of the U.S., Helping Hands International brings help and hope to hurting people.
Helping Hands International is the product of 20 years reaching out and helping people, taking groups to foreign countries, taking groups of people to areas where there's need.
Helping Hands International is love in action, sharing the love of God through practical hands-on care.
We were able to build for a family that had children down in Mexico, and they wanted to help, and the kids were in there pounding nails with us and wanting to just help in any way they can.
Carmen was the single mother who raised 4 kids, and she worked 2 jobs and just was trying to provide for her family. She was just basically in awe, I think, how much we helped her in that little amount of time.
Mobilizing people and resources worldwide, we partner with community businesses and people like you to connect international organizations with volunteer teams and disaster response teams.
These houses were just shacks, and they were already all rusty and worn down and torn down. And I had an opportunity to help him rebuild his house.
And then when we were able to give him the keys and have him unlock the door for the first time, you could see the joy in his face.
She was crying and she was really, really grateful and thankful that we came and wanted to do this for her and her family.
We provide help, love, and hope to victims of poverty, war, disease, and natural disasters.
I was expecting a lot of poverty and stuff, but it's just kind of more surprising once you get down there and actually experience it.
It's always a good time to be able to go and help somebody.
I think that it gives them lots of hope, just like knowing that everyday things are taken care of.
Our teams are made up of people from your community, your co-workers, neighbors, and their youth, who are also personally benefiting from the time they give to support and love others.
The thing that keeps me coming back is witnessing the impact that our trips have, not only on the people that we go to help, but also on the people who we take with us.
Some of the folks that have gone on this trip, they've gone down there with their teenagers or their young ones that maybe they had trouble maybe communicating with, but by getting away from their surroundings, they were able to break down some walls and really make some inroads with each other that they haven't been able to make in other ways.
Working with Helping Hands has changed my life in a huge way.
Having the joy of helping somebody else, being able to build them a house and share the work with them is just a life-changing experience.
By going on my first mission trip, it's enabled me to take a different perspective with my own life.
Every single trip that we take, every single team that we lead has multiple stories of changed lives.
The trip down there did help me change my relationship with my daughters. It made me realize that they're starting to grow up, and they're really reaching out in ministry to people who are less fortunate than us, which is a real blessing to me and my husband.
Together, your community brings new hope by building a better life for others. But a natural byproduct of this support is bringing back this love and hope to your own community.
It's a real simple concept, and we're seeing that it impacts the people who go out to do the helping as well as the communities that they come back to.
They come back and they make a difference in their own communities as their lives are touched and as their lives are changed.
When an individual's life is changed on a short-term outreach, the impact they have on their own community is significant.
It's enabled my son to really act on his faith not just on mission trips or in church or during youth group, but actually even through his football team. He leads the team now in prayer.
Our volunteer teams not only provide their time, but also their own resources to pay for travel, lodging, and expenses.
We're doing some fundraising with our softball team. Is going down to Mexico in January. And we also really just rely on God.
I can have confidence knowing that all I have to do is just go serve and trust Him for the things that He's going to provide me with to do the job.
What we need is your assistance to enable Helping Hands International to provide the resources needed to purchase medical supplies for the sick, materials to build a family a new home, or orphans a place to live. Equipment and materials are needed to drill new wells to provide entire communities with clean water, and many other needs for those less fortunate.
There's so many projects that we'd like to do.
The funds that we raise actually go to help provide housing for people who may not have housing.
Help in emergency situations, just going down and helping to clean up.
For disaster relief.
We would love to be able to take well drilling equipment out and drill wells for communities.
To go alongside other organizations that are there on a long-term presence to help give them a boost.
To put together medical teams to go down and assist medical clinics that are already in existence.
We can send a group of people to build an orphanage for 12 children in Uganda. These children are coming from refugee camps where they've been orphaned because of civil war or because of AIDS.
We haven't quite yet accomplished everything that we were setting out to.
We are asking for your help and support to bring new hope for those in need. We need donations, gifts, and resources to provide this much-needed help to hurting people around the world.
Helping Hands International is committed to a minimum of 90% of all proceeds going directly to the people with need.
Only 10% go to administrative costs.
As I look at other organizations, I see that 90% is a very high percentage rate, and we are committed to that.
They're really focused on making sure that the money that you give gets directly to the people. If you can't personally go on one of these trips, I would strongly suggest that you send somebody that can go or help finance a team to go.
And it's the same principle. You're sacrificing, you're giving up of yourself.
You still receive a great benefit for doing so.
I want to go on as many trips as I can, and Helping Hands International is providing me the access to these different trips.
You know, I am on the board of Helping Hands International. I've gone on several of the trips, but I've also made it a goal of mine to help it financially, just because I know the impact it's had on my life. The more people that we can send, the more people we're going to impact.
We need your help through donations, gifts, and resources to provide this much-needed help to hurting people around the world. Together, we can make a difference. Helping Hands International.